Alrighty, welcome to the Tuesday show. Yeah, air quotes. Obviously, it's Thursday. We're going to be recapping Evo, and we were very tired, so we waited a couple of days. My name's Ultra David.
And I'm James Chen. How's everybody going? Fact, I met some people at Evo this year, and one of them was from Australia. Without saying anything, she walked up to me and was like, "How you going?"
That's funny.
Yeah, and then I said something to her boyfriend, and he just started laughing because he knew exactly what that.
She wasn't joking. That's just like what
that's just what she just said. Yeah, from Australia.
Well,
so
shout
shout outs to them. Validating my bad grammar. So
well, hey, that's fine. Different dialects and so forth. So Steve, I guess, is traveling to DreamHack.
Tasty, right?
Tasty,
yeah,
and then Sajam. I guess, I didn't tell him that we were going to do the show today.
Right.
I thought I did, but my bad. So he's going to be doing stuff with Rip and the like. My B did not intend for that. So,
yes.
Anyway, let's talk about Evolution 2017.
What did you think of it? Overall, arching summary, what did you think of the whole entire thing?
Well, as with last year, I was concerned going into it that it wouldn't feel like Evo to me. That it would feel like some different beast.
Convention.
Well, just a convention,
yeah,
right? Like when you go to, we have been to DreamHack now. When you go to DreamHack, it's not Evo, for sure.
Right.
It's definitely a different kind of event that has fighting games at it, but it's definitely not the same.
Right.
And when you go to South by Southwest, which we also have been to, definitely not at all Evo. Not at all.
Right.
But it has fighting games. I was kind of worried it would begin to feel like one of those, and it did not. It did not. I thought it felt like Evo still. You're right, Siege, TOH says, somebody says that every year. That's true, but it's been in particular, I think, the last 2 years that has been a bigger possibility. Being in the sports stadium at the end and having just a tremendously large hall for the first couple of days. Those are so different than how it used to be that I really felt like it might be different. I don't feel like it was.
Yeah, and what's interesting too, a lot of people are saying last year's Evo was, bad. They weren't ready for that kind of influx of people.
Hard to have predicted that.
And in fact, I still think it's an anomaly from last year. So a lot of people are like, "Aren't you concerned the numbers are so down?" And I think last year was just the Street Fighter V. That kind of hype really just got everybody there. Unfortunately, Street Fighter V was not able to maintain that.
Nope.
So we kind of went back to the regular flow, in my opinion. But
I think you're right.
Last year, look. I say this every year. Every time someone goes to Evo and they're like, "This was terrible, that was terrible," they always address it. And you cannot predict everything that's going to go wrong at these events, right? And so this year, I know a lot of people had complaints about the headsets. I'm sure they'll address that as well. But last year, everyone complained about, why can't my game get enough screen time? It was too crowded in there. They doubled the size of the room. There was space beyond all compare, and every game had their own big screen.
That's true.
So next year, you can imagine they'll try to fix the headset scenario and everything like that.
What I heard was that the venue provided power that was the wrong voltage or something, and that the screwy voltage did something ipso facto. I don't know how electronics work. Something was screwed up.
Right.
I don't know. That's what I've heard. So that definitely sucks. Of course, in some games that really actually matters, right? And unfortunately, it seemed to have happened in games where it mattered more than maybe in some others. So that is a big bummer. But I'm sure that'll be something that they take great pains to avoid in the future.
Right. And so, I'm not too worried about that. But as you mentioned this year, it's weird because we were hanging out a little bit on Thursday. And it's just weird. Even on the day before Evo starts, there's something different in the air.
Yeah.
I retweeted this post that somebody wrote. That he said that he went to his first Evo, and the best line in there was the one that I quoted in my retweet, where he just basically said, he was like, "I checked Reddit a couple of times during the weekend, and he could just see that what people were saying on there was a completely different energy than what he was feeling at the venue."
Interesting.
And he was like, "Man, I might just have to stop reading Reddit as much now, because it just, when you're there, there's this weird kind of holy crap, oh my God," and everybody who's there has an amazing time. You know what I mean? It's just there's a different atmosphere there that I can't describe to people.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I mean, I think that's the feeling that I mean when I say it felt like Evo still. You know, I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, in fact, he's right here in the chat, too.
Oh,
it's
dang,
Arik.
right.
Yeah, that was him right there. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Nate? Yeah, it does feel different. It doesn't feel like any other tournament. Other tournaments are also great. You know, nothing against them, but it doesn't feel the same. There's something kind of like, there's a feeling of expectations, you know? And it's for everybody. It's like, for us, for me at least, I don't know for you, for me it's like, am I going to commentate all right? But for other people it's like, am I going to win Evo or not? And then for almost everybody else it's like, how am I going to do in my pools? Or it's like, you know, is my favorite player going to do well? Or is the merchandise I want to buy going to be there? How's Dragon Ball? Maybe I hope it's going to be fun. Like, there's like all these like, feelings of like expectations. And that's unique to Evo, so I'm really glad that it's still there. And even though it's such a big thing now, and they're in the sports stadium, and all that stuff is new to just the last couple of years, it still feels that way. And I'm really glad for that. I would really miss that feeling otherwise.
And honestly, like, you know, I kept thinking about it that weekend, how everybody, even us, like, we were like, I hope Evo never becomes a convention. You know, we've talked about that.
We have said that.
And it's kind of like that now. And the more people that I talk to at Evo, I'm like, oh, hey, this is your first Evo? They're like, yes. And then I'm like, hey, so what did you enter? They're like, nothing. I don't think I was ready this year. And I was just like...
A lot of people said that. The ratio of spectators to players is really shifting. And
like... To me, I now realize why it's so important that Evo should have become more of a convention even earlier. Because, honestly, it provides, like, they had a chance to play all these different games there. They even had the arcade machines. They could buy stuff. People plan their one vacation of the year to go to Evo. They want to buy T-shirts. They want to buy artwork. They want to buy all these things. And if you don't, I mean, like, it's almost cruel not to let them do that in a weird way.
I don't know if you have watched it, but Born Free has a great set of interviews up on his YouTube channel that I highly recommend in general.
I haven't seen them yet.
Okay, so I've watched a few of them now. One of them was with T. Cannon.
Tom
Cannon.
Pretty sure it was Tom. Yeah.
Period Cannon. Yeah, it was with Tom. No, you're right. And Tom. So basically, Born Free was like, I have been to Evo in the past, but when I was there, like, I wanted to get stuff. I wanted to, like, bring home memorabilia, and it wasn't really there until just the last couple of years. And Tom said much the same that we were just saying, that, you know, it was weird to him at first that people wanted to come and spectate or buy stuff because it was always just a tournament. And, like, why would you come just to watch people? That's weird. Like, this is our mindset coming, you know, for many, many years. And he recognized that there's a lot of people who do want to watch or who will enter but don't feel like they are like a big threat or anything. They're like hoping to prove themselves that they're not going to go 0-2 or whatever it is. But those people are not going to have a long tournament life. Like, they're not going to spend all of Saturday in the tournament, right? Like, there's maybe like an hour that they're in the tournament. Yeah, that's maybe not even that much. What are they going to do the rest of the time? And so you have to cater to people, and I think that's the right thing to do. Yeah, I mean, looking back, we were myopic about it. We only viewed the tournament as a tournament. Right. And, you know, Tom was saying, and I think he's right, that needs to be the major focus still. And always should be. But that there are these other sides to it, and that, you know, past us shouldn't be critical of other people who want to enjoy fighting games or the tournament in a different way than like we always had.
I always remember, you know, when we first started streaming, like in 2010 and 2011, there was one point in time, because it was still streaming on like Justin TV or Ustream or whatever it was back then.
Yeah.
And there was this huge thing that Tom was like, the tournament will never stop for the stream.
Right.
I don't care what happens in the stream. The tournament keeps going. And only just a few years ago, he's like, nope, that's completely
the opposite.
Now the stream is that important, you know. It's the attitudes change and the mindset changes. But, you know, the thing that I kind of want to, you know, talk about is how many people that I talk to, you know, at Evo, they're like, this is my first Evo.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I see somebody at like CEO or at some other event and I talk to them and I'm like, have you ever been to Evo? They're like, no. And my comment to them is like, I don't want to oversell it, but it will change your life, right? Like, I say that. And so everybody at Evo I ran into, I was just like, how are you enjoying Evo? They're like, I love it. Is this your first time? Yes. I'm like, look, I tell people this all the time. I need you guys to be like my movie box quotes, you know? And I was like, I tell people all the time that Evo will change your life. And they're like, yes. They're like, it's been so amazing. Like, I never would have pictured it like this. Like, a lot of the people that I talked to just had no idea that Evo would feel the way it did.
Yeah.
Because when you see it on stream, it just looks like a standard tournament.
Sure.
Just outside here, you got this big stadium at the end. But when you're in that room, when you're in there and there's just so much buzzing going on of just like fighting game activity everywhere, the tension is palpable, as they say.
Indeed.
Yeah.
It was feelable. Yeah, man, I had a really good time. So I showed up on Wednesday with the expectation, with the intention of like partying Wednesday night, you know, because Thursday night I got to go to sleep early because we were commentating Friday morning, and then, you know, I'm just commentating the rest of the weekend, so I'm basically working. I don't want to go nuts. And then I went to sleep at like midnight anyway.
Really? Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I woke up at like 8, you know, and I had breakfast with Jabali, and then I went to go shopping, and then I went to the pool, and I was like such an old man about it. I did work when I was at the pool. So it was very different than before, but still really fun in like an I'm old kind of way. Like not the same as like getting totally bent out of shape and, you know, doing stupid stuff that I definitely used to do, but
AJ says it sounds like his Evo too.
There you go, man.
Shout outs to him. Look at the team. Look what his team accomplished here. Echo
Yes.
Fox, man.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything.
Oh yeah, true. But
They did do well.
I mean, dude, my sleep schedule is so jacked up. But I'll be honest, Evo kind of fixed it a little bit. I'm going to bed at like 3 o'clock now that I'm back. It's amazing.
AM, hopefully.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because
Not a
for a while
vampire.
I was sleeping at like 5, 6. So
Yeah,
when I was
yeah.
at Evo, like literally, I would fall asleep at like 6. Like the
Wow.
day we had to do commentary before Friday, I couldn't fall asleep till like 6 o'clock. So I was literally on like 3 hours of sleep to do commentary. But interestingly enough, the adrenaline just kicked in. And like I never got tired on commentary like the whole day because I was just like so amped.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, old man good times are pretty great, you know. Younger me would not have liked them. But I guess that's how it goes. Younger me does younger me stuff, and older me does older me stuff.
It's funny because like that's the worst part about it. Because once you get older, you just did Abigail's backdash.
Mm-hmm.
But like once you get older, like and you start doing that thing where you hear the old people look at kids and just be like, man, just wait till you get older or you'll understand. Dude, it's so weird. Like I hate it, but it's so true.
I think it's pretty cool.
Because
I like it. So far, there are some downsides, but in general, it's all right.
One thing I will always say as an old man is that when you're in the 20s, you are indestructible. And once you get to around 40, that's when everything changes and you realize the indestructibility is not there.
Oh man, I've been destructible since I was 21. Physically speaking, I've been destructible and destructed as well.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Evo was all good. And then, let's see. It was awesome to hang out with people. I spent a lot of time commentating Injustice, and so I got to spend a lot of time hanging out with the NRS folks, which was very cool. I got to talk about balance with 16-Bit, who works at NRS, and I told him Firestorm was a weak character. He's bad. And then he was like, nuh-uh, he's high mid. And then he brought in Theo, and Theo was like, probably high mid. And I was like, no! And somebody else was like, Brainiac's terrible. And I was like, I think he's top 10. And then 16-Bit was like, what are you talking about? So, I don't know, man. But anyway, it was a lot of fun hanging out with people. And then on Sunday, I got there bright and early, 7:45. It was tough times, even though I had gone to sleep at a reasonable hour, still tough. And just, you know, watched with Tubaware and some of his friends, Mike and Julian and so forth. And we basically sat there for the whole day.
Yeah.
You know, there were $5 wines. Beers were $8.50, but wines, I don't know. Wine was $5 for like a full glass of wine, so that's where I went.
Good, yeah. I mean, look,
economical.
The funny thing is, like, Evo, I tweeted about this, and the hardest part about Evo, honestly, is I just don't feel like I get to talk to anybody as long as I want to. You know, there's only a few moments where I actually get to sit down and talk with people, and this includes people I don't know. Like, a lot of people are like, hey, James, and I'm like, I look like I'm in a hurry, and I've got to, like, shuffle along, and I feel bad about that because I want to know their story on how they're at Evo and all these things like that. And then there are my good friends who I don't get to see, and I missed so many of them. They were like, hey, we're hanging out over here, and I'm like, I can't hang out. In fact, after we commentated together, I don't know if I saw you for the rest of the weekend.
I think I didn't see you at all the whole rest of the weekend.
Yeah,
after Friday at like noon. I think that was it. I don't think I saw you at all.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it goes. Yeah, that's true. It's like an insight into how it is for everybody else.
It's crazy there, but you know, and that's probably one of the area that sucks the most because I really want to talk with people and hang out with people, and I can only pick and choose certain people, and I hate feeling like I'm prioritizing certain people over others. But
I'm totally with you. On Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday day, I was all about meeting as many people as I could. And then Sunday night at the after party, I came in a hoodie, and it was like a hoodie and shorts.
Wait, you're talking about
and I had glasses on.
At the lights?
Yeah, light.
You were there?
Yes.
Did you even see me at all there?
No, but
Okay. Because I was there for a small chunk of time.
I was there for like a couple hours probably.
Yeah.
And I was just like hanging out with like Ski Sonic and Tubaware and like a couple other dudes.
I saw Ski Sonic there. I definitely saw him there. So
I tried saying hello to Fish Sticks, Ben Fish Sticks. He was walking by. I was like, "Hey, buddy," and he just barreled right on by. And then I saw Gutex, and I came up to him, and he's like in his fancy suit from ESPN, And I walked up to him like a total schlub, and I was like, "Hey, dude, how you guys?" I tried to give him a hug, and he was like, "That first." Hey, how's it going? Took a little while, so I thought that was really funny.
That's awesome.
But it was also nice to just like hang out with some dudes who I'm friends with. I mean, I met some people there too, which was great. But it was cool to just be like in the crowd. It's cool.
Right. But yeah, no, it's a fun event. It's tough to see everybody there, but again, if you make it to Evo one day, and I had so many people tweet me, they're like, I saw James Chen, but I was scared to go up and talk to him, and I'm like, dude, just come up and talk to me. And even at like the after party, there was one guy I talked to who was blisteringly drunk and was really, really hoping that I would, have a fun night. No, it wasn't you. It was at the bar fight. This is at the bar fight.
Oh, okay.
Eventually, he messaged me. He's like, "I'm really sorry. My friends told me the stuff that I was saying."
That's very funny.
Yeah, but it was really, really cool. It was really cool. So.
It's all good, man. Had a great time. So, anything else to say about Evo as a general event? It was on ESPN. It was on TV and stuff. I haven't gotten the chance to see any of the actual TV footage.
Disney as well, yeah.
Disney as well.
I've DVR'd it, but I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it yet either.
I did want to say I really liked what they did for the top 8 finals of having commentator pairs separate for the stream and then for the in-house. I thought that was really, really good. For the stream, you did the stream, Street Fighter. I did stream for Injustice. And it was nice to not have to do like the "hey crowd, get wild" thing. Because on the one hand, for stream, it's weird because we're not in the crowd doing that. For Injustice, we were behind a big curtain.
Behind the curtain, right?
And then for you and Street Fighter, you're up at the way top.
Yeah.
So it's you don't really get the feedback anyway. And then people on the stream would not be able to hear the crowd's response anyway. So anyway, I said anyway probably 6 times already.
That's fine.
Anyway, and then the people who are doing the actual crowd can really rile them up.
Right.
And,
yes.
And then there's different takes on it. Like Ketchup and Mustard basically did commentary.
Right.
Normal commentary. And for some of the other people, it was just
hype up.
Yeah, hyping up,
Dude, Tasty Steve and Rip were awesome on Tekken. Favorite line of the weekend was Tasty Steve saying that was a GameStop trade.
I knew exactly what you were going to say. Yeah. It was great. Do you know if that's a line he came up with, or is that an old St. Louis line?
I have no idea.
I feel like that's an old St. Louis.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
That's just, like whenever sometimes when he comes up with things like that, I'm like, that's genius. And he's like, people have been saying it in St. Louis for 20 years. So I'm like, okay, I didn't know. But yeah, I really like that separation. I hope that that's something. I mean, it's tough to do because it means you got to get more commentators out there. It's more expensive and yada yada. But I really like the idea of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with it too. I agree with that too. I think it worked out really well. So
cool, man.
All right. Well, let's talk about a little bit of the results and stuff. So
let's do it.
Some people are saying that they've heard Melee people say that.
Say what?
Before the GameStop trade, maybe.
Oh, have they?
Know.
Oh, Smash.
Yeah. So maybe.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Okay. They came up with GameStop trade and Thinkums. How about that?
And Guessies.
And Guessies. All real terms. Let's talk about the results in the orders that they happened.
Sure.
So let's go over King of Fighters 14, which was on Friday.
Someone asked us what our favorite low-key moment of EVO 2017
low-key,
was.
huh? Oh, I'll tell you mine. No, it's not gross.
I know, but still, I'm wondering what yours is. Because the way you said it, I wonder if it's the same as mine. But go ahead.
Okay, fine.
Uh-huh.
It was the end of Marvel 3.
Oh, okay.
And I was hanging out with Tubaware, Eli the Curry, Prague, Julian, maybe somebody else. In any case, like a bunch of Marvel heads. And they were tearing up. You know? And I totally get that feeling. I'm going to really miss that game too. I've come to really enjoy it.
Yeah.
There were definitely a couple of years where I thought it sucked, but I was wrong about that. And the game, players really, really developed it. I know that feeling sucks because I remember the last year Third Strike was there. I remember when ST was gone as a major one of the main lineup games. I remember that stuff, and it sucked, and I, you know, tough feeling.
Right.
Like knowing that if you're gonna ever see the game again, it's in some side tournament, and nobody's gonna be up to where they are right now. This is the height of the game. It's never gonna be there again, competitive play wise, and it's a sweet moment in the sense that like for a lot of them, what they wanted to happen did happen, which was that there was not a repeat champion. I think Eli did want Chris to win, so that there would be a repeat champion, and like the conversation would be like, it's done. Chris G was the best in Marvel 3.
Right.
But the other guys wanted there to always be a debate, and it's probably Chris anyway, because like he was so consistent throughout the game's whole life. But he didn't have the double Evo championship. Instead, it's every year was just somebody else. So there's a debate, yada yada.
And it's always, but
that's sweet, but then it's bitter because you're gonna miss it.
Right. I mean, interesting enough, Chris G, what he was able to do though was also match KBR. Because remember, KBR won, then made it to grand finals. And then Chris won it that year, and then Chris made it to grand finals.
Definitely. Didn't Justin make it to grand finals and then win the next year?
Yeah, I think so. He lost the Flocker, and then he beat. Justin had his tremendous run in which he lost. One of the first years that I cried really, really badly. But you know, and then he won it the next year. So
yeah, man. So anyway, that was probably my favorite. Was just like hanging out with my friends while they're like kind of tearing up, and I'm like, oh, you know, I understand and. Just like one of those human moments, man.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite low-key moment is probably Unknown. But, no, people probably know what I'm talking about. No, actually, honestly, my favorite low-key moment was a sweet memory as well, and it was the Hawaii suite. I actually went to the Hawaii suite at one point in time.
Hawaii? Like players?
Yeah, players from Hawaii, and one of the guys there that I hung out in Hawaii before when I went there basically just got a suite. A whole bunch of people were there. I saw a whole bunch of random people there. I actually got to sit down and talk for a little while with a bunch of people there and just to hang out and chill and relax and hang out with some friends and everything like that. But speaking of the Unknown moment I was talking about, though, did you not see the video that Z recorded from Bar Fights?
Negative.
No, You Cannot Part 2.
Nope.
Oh man. Okay, we need to get that. You need to see that at some point in time.
Although that kind of makes sense now. When I saw him at the after party, again he didn't recognize me, but I was like, hey, and he recognized me finally. He was like, hey, thanks David for like not bringing up the thing, and I was like, what are you talking about? But that's probably what he was talking about, I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen what you're talking about.
Yo, okay. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, anyways, let's get to some results, shall we? Let's do this.
King of Fighters, 14. 7th places were Arcade Shock Reynolds. Yeah. 7th place is pretty good, but
yeah, I know.
There were a lot of hopes riding on that man. Sanwa M Dash was 2nd place. Then GCCM PK White Ash, 5th place. 5th place also TC Paco. 4th place Huomao ZJZ. Then 3rd was KCO Luis Cha. Sweet.
Yes,
that's cool.
Great job to
That's
Luis
cool.
Cha. Yeah.
2nd place Kanba Doyu Shaohai. 2nd place. Reminder, not 1st place.
Yes.
2nd place Shaohai. Winner Huomao DBJ ET.
From Taiwan. Taiwan's first major win.
With, at the end there, Clark, Benimaru, Daimon. Daimon, of course, getting the final N. Man, that was a sick last round.
Oh, man. It's funny because, like, going into this, remember we were talking about it last week, how this could be the most volatile Evo ever, and I feel like there was only, like, 1 or 2 people who were expected to win that actually won.
Right.
But outside of that, it was pretty crazy. It was pretty volatile at this point in time. But it's funny because I was talking to Sanchez, I believe it was on Saturday night, I think it was. There was a whole bunch of us in the food court. We were just all eating there really late. And Sanchez, he's like, chalk this up to another tournament that I helped affect. And
That's true.
And I was like, really? What did you do? And basically he described how Xiaohai basically plays by saving his meter, and one touch kills everybody. And when he was going up against ET is known for using, was it Ralph or Clark? I can't remember. Clark. But he wasn't using him up to that point.
That's true.
And then so in the last game, after he was up 2-0, and then Xiaohai tied it up 2-2, he had one game, and everyone in the audience, Sanchez in particular, was yelling Clark as loud as possible. That is true.
So, like, after I finished commentary, I went over to watch KOF, and I only got there for the grand finals. And I sat right up front, and there was like Sammy Fish and Sanchez and Hawketh and I don't know, like a couple other dudes. Black Rose, a few others were up there. And yeah, sure enough, while ET was trying to decide what to do, one of those jerks started up the Clark chant.
Right.
I don't remember which one it was. And then they all started doing it, and yeah, sure enough, he picked Clark. I don't know that like really made a difference.
So what Sanchez actually said was, because Xiaohai has that strategy that he saves the meter to kill off your character, ET's team now had 2 meat shields that he couldn't kill off right away, and it messed up Xiaohai's meter usage to the point where that he was able to take it in the end.
Okay, I mean, he still got like counter and supered into, you know.
Right.
I mean, still like a lot of work going on for Goro over there, but it was really good. I didn't get to see all the top 8. I was there for the grand finals, and it was a very good grand finals.
Yeah. I didn't get to see a lot of it, unfortunately, live. I was out grabbing food because I hadn't eaten all day.
Me neither, but I figured it's just grand finals. I can hang out. This year I actually got to see almost every top 8.
Really?
Almost.
I'm so jealous.
Almost, yeah.
I'm so jealous.
There's one I'm missing.
Cool.
We'll go over it in just a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah, man, KOF was sick. It was a really good top 8. I'm really glad for that game that it had a good top 8. I hope that convinces people to pick the game up because it was a lot of fun, clearly. When I was saying before Evo that I didn't think that it deserved to be there because it did not have the entrance numbers, that's not at all an indictment of the game as being fun, or that it wouldn't have a cool top 8 and a good grand finals. Like, all the games had good top 8s. They always do. It's very rare that one has like a boring.
Some way, it's always crazy like that.
It's really rare to have
last
a boring
year
top
when
8.
Sonic Fox wins, he has to take off the hood, right?
Yes.
I mean, like, there's something that happens.
It always happens. So, nothing against the game. I'm really glad that the game showed that it is fun, and hopefully people try it out.
Yeah, and again, shout outs to Team Taiwan. Speaking of, just as a little side thing, there's so many little side stories and side little moments. But you just see the honeymoon photos for GamerB on the Evo stage.
No.
So I think it was like Saturday morning or Friday morning before they opened up the doors. GamerB, and I guess they're married now, and his wife, Juliana, basically stood in their tuxedo and wedding dress on the Evo stage, and Tempest Rob took photos of them there.
Wow.
Like the big Evo background. It was That's
pretty cool.
It was really, really cool. So yeah.
Oh yeah. A grappler won Evo. Well, that's SNK makes good grapplers.
Yeah.
They always
that's
have.
True. That's true.
Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2. This is the top 8 I didn't see.
Oh, really?
Because it was in the middle of
Injustice
Injustice
right?
stuff. It was like Injustice pool,
Yeah.
top 32 or something like that. So anyway, 7th place.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it. You wanna? Did you wanna
no,
do
go
it?
ahead. Go ahead.
310 Venom. Or 310.
Apparently Sato, because 310 is a pun of the word Sato.
Okay.
Yeah, so apparently it's Sato Venom. Yeah.
Got it. Teresa with Jam, 7th place also. 5th place is GGP Kazunoko Raven and Pure with Jacko. 4th place Nage with Faust. 3rd place Samito Chip. 2nd place R Kappa T5M7.
Tomo, basically.
Oh, that makes more sense.
With
Okay.
Leo, yeah.
I've heard that name.
Uh-huh.
With Leo. Then 1st place KVO Cross TSB Omito with Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, shout outs to Ryan Hunter, because when we were doing semifinals commentary, he was like, my pick is Omito. Omito's winning. And I'm
Sick.
like, but Machibo, he's like, yeah, but Machibo's in losers, and then Kid Viper eliminated him.
Yeah, he did.
Kid Viper beat last year's champion. But
Correct.
the worst part about that, when you do that, then you're just like, I beat last year's champion. This is the pressure. And then he lost, and he did not make it to top 8. And despite the fact that no Americans made top 8 this year.
Yeah.
Right. It's first year in 3 years that they did not do that. Last year was Marlon Pie. Year before that was Zidane. However, last year had 5 U.S. players in top 32, I believe it was, and this year there were 9. And they were definitely making some key eliminations and key wins. So shout-outs to the U.S. team. The top 8 is not an indication. And even the Arxis guys, when they at their booth, they were interviewing some of the Japanese players over there, and the Japanese players were even like, I don't even feel like there's much of a gap at all anymore.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah, so there you go. But yeah, Bears was super close to making top 8. But man,
9th place.
Omito, like that guy is just magic with Johnny. It's just like every hit he had, he knew the exact conversion to do and to lead to the combo. And that's like where a lot of my fandom of Guilty Gear comes from, is that it is one of the most creative games, thanks to Roman cancels and thanks to the game system, is that you could just do stuff and like figure out a way to make it work because you know your character so well. But yeah, Omito is amazing. Dude, what? So I didn't watch the whole thing. I unfortunately missed grand finals. Because I had to start commentary for Street Fighter at that moment.
Commentary
so I was
life.
like, no! But I watched the rest of it in the beginning, and man, I can see why so many people hate Jacko. Because every time Pure got someone in the corner with like level 3 amped up minions, and they just have him in the corner, it's like it's so painful. So, but yeah, it was a good top 8. It was a good top 8, but yeah, shout outs to Omito, finishing second last year, taking it first this year. So good job to him. But seriously, honestly, like there was just some points in times where it just didn't look like he could lose. Like it just
I
looked
heard
like
that. I heard all the matches were blow ups.
Yeah.
I was talking with somebody about it. I guess it was Raph, who said that every match was a blow up in favor of whoever won it. Like nothing was close.
There was a few close stuff. I think I kind of remember, at least in semis.
I didn't see it.
But like, dude, Omito, because there was definitely a lot of rounds where Omito would just be drained down to nothing left, and the other guy had this life, and you're just like, okay, time to move to the next round, and then just Omito would just pull off the stupidest comeback. In fact, I remember one of them, it happened, I can't remember against who, but it happened in top 8, because I immediately just tweeted out, Omito, because it was the most ridiculous thing. So, yeah, so there was definitely some close matches, but probably the result was like 3-1. So it looked like it was kind of 3-0, but there was some close rounds, kind of things like that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, anything else to say about the Guilty Gear?
It's a good game.
Yeah.
Play it, and it's good stuff. So.
Alrighty. Then top 8 for Injustice happened just a little bit after that. 7th place was Nasser Tekken Master with Black Adam, Atrocitus, and Brainiac. 7th also was T7G DR Gross with Green Lantern and one Black Adam that got lit up, and it was not useful. 5th place, Echo Fox Sonic Fox. What? With Red Hood and like one game of Black Adam that also got blown up. 5th place, PG Hayate with Robin and Batman. 4th place, Noble Samij with Catwoman. 3rd place, Equifox Theo with the Superman. 2nd place, CR Honeybee with the Flash. 2nd place, he played Aquaman like 2 times, and I think lost with him. Winner was Noble Dragon.
Yep.
With mostly Aquaman and a couple of Poison Ivies.
Yeah, what I had heard, though, is that that top 8 is pretty well-established top 8 for NRS games.
Oh, there's no randos in there.
And so outside, like, someone said that Samij might be the only person who kind of counted as a surprise, but he's always been good, right? So
last year or so, he's been strong. Okay, yeah, I mean, he's not always been a top player, but he certainly is now, and he was winning a lot of the stuff that led up to this in online tournaments.
When he was playing against Theo, that was a tough one for me. It was like the Catwoman versus the SoCal.
Right, Theo from SoCal, for sure. Playing the world's most annoying Superman. The lamest, the most annoying Superman. But no, man, I'm super happy with how the top 8 went. You got a lot of regional variety in there. You got Bahrain, you got Canada, you got a couple of Canadas, you got Dominican Republic in there, you got Southern California, you got 2 people from Delaware. That's, I don't know. Sonic Fox and Dragon are both from Delaware for some reason.
Right.
But yeah, it was just really good in terms of variety that way. The character variety was great. I just mentioned a ton of different characters. The Black Adams got lit up. They were like not relevant.
That's what you said last week.
What? It's almost like it's a continuing trend that was easily predictable. Okay. And then, there's like a bunch of interesting character mains who did well. 2nd place was Flash. Honeybee even said earlier in the day that he was like, he didn't believe that he would do well. And somebody said, like, what if you win Evo with Flash? Then you'll have to admit he's a good character. And then he was like, yeah, I guess. That's a downside, I guess. He was like, yeah, I guess I'd have to admit it. But he got 2nd place, so there's at least a little bit that he can say. The Flash, Superman, Catwoman, Robin, and like 2 games of Batman or something for Hayate. Almost exclusively Red Hood for Sonic Fox. Mostly Green Lantern for Gross. Mostly Atrocitus, a little bit of Atom, and like 1 of Brainiac or Tekken Master.
Right.
That's a lot of different almost mains doing well.
Right.
In this game, so I'm really happy with that, and it was a lot of fun to watch. And Dragon was definitely the best, but it was, Sonic Fox made it to top 8 winners without having lost a single game.
Oh, he was one of those. Okay,
lost any games,
right?
And then he went 0-2 in top 8. Crazy. So it's, having like a new champion and a bunch of different variety, and I thought the game looked fun. And you got your annoying characters, lame characters up there, Superman and Aquaman, but everybody else is cool. And that's good to have variety.
I'm curious, like, what's the reaction been from the NRS community with regards to Aquaman? Are a lot of people, like, poo-pooing Aquaman or anything like that right now? Or...
Yeah, I would say that's true, but they were saying it beforehand, too.
Okay.
So not much difference on that front. There are some people who have said things like that Dragon won in part because of Aquaman being the best. Maybe he is the best. I don't know. He's certainly one of them. But Dragon has been a top player for the last 2 years.
Exactly.
He won with a bunch of different characters in MK, and he made it to top 8 with some Poison Ivy too, and she's probably bad.
Well, shout outs to Dragon, because he's one of those guys who's not afraid to use top tier. And I like
pick the good stuff, man. Don't be abashed about it.
So, yeah.
Illusions was just outside top 8 with Green Arrow mostly. Nubcakes from SoCal and Slayer originally from SoCal. We're both just outside top 8 in 9th place.
Dude, so Cool Gray AJ says that Sonic Fox was fighting food poisoning all weekend long.
Ah, that is true. Yeah, he had food poisoning.
He said that he almost took him to the hospital at some point in time.
Right,
so.
that is true. Yeah, he had a tough first couple of days. Mm-hmm. I talked with him before top 8, and he said that he was feeling better. Not 100%, but better. Mm-hmm. And, he's an upstanding young man, and he was like, I'm not going to make any excuses.
Right.
So,
and even when he lost, he was, like, congratulating everybody and stuff. But did you see his tweet? He said, I lost my first Evo. How many people can actually tweet that? And he's been going for, 4 years, right? He's like, I lost my first Evo.
Nobody can say that.
Jesus. Man.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like maybe like
Justin at one point for
Justin
MVC2.
at one point.
But he lost
Snake
other
Eyes.
tournaments, though. That's the thing, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he didn't win every single game. Just,
Right, just MVC2.
Snake Eyes entered HDR and won the first tournament he ever entered at Evo. So I guess you could say it like the year after that. But anyway, very rare, and certainly not like 4 years in a row or whatever nonsense he did. Including even like he won MK9 when it was just there as a side tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
so
he's a very
that guy's
talented player.
crazy. That guy's crazy. But shout outs to Sonic Fox for sure. But no,
Very happy with the top 8. I thought it went great.
Yeah, exactly. Really happy with the character variety and everything. And I'm gonna have to go back and watch a bunch of Samiji's matches because he was doing some sick stuff with Catwoman.
He's got good fundamentals, and she has really good fundamentals.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Awesome to see. Play characters you think are fun, and don't necessarily pick Black Adam because he got busted. Super Smash Bros. Melee, which I also saw quite a bit of, although not. No, I did see the end, but not a little bit in between. Anyway. 7th place, MSF The Moon with Marth, and CLG SFAT with Fox. 5th place, PG Plup with Sheik and Fox. 5th place, Lucky with Fox. 4th place, MGV Equifox Mewtwo King with Marth, Sheik, and Fox. 3rd place, Liquid Hungry Box with Jigglypuff. 2nd place,
Champion
C9 Mango with Fox and Falco. Winner, Alliance Armada? Is that right?
Yeah.
Right?
Pretty sure. Yeah.
I mean, they just write it as A, with the brackets.
Oh,
I think it's
okay,
Alliance.
okay.
With Peach. He didn't play any Fox and stuff?
No, he played only Peach.
Damn, I just
and
assumed.
a lot of people made a big deal out of that.
Okay, sick.
But, I mean, look, Melee is super hype. This one went, though, I think a little unfortunately, pretty much how everyone would have expected it, in that the top 4 were the 4 gods that were there.
Yes.
However, having the grand finals come down to being Mango and Armada yet again, especially with Mango trying his best to defend it, because that's his one claim to being stronger player than Armada, is that Mango has 2 Evos and Armada had 1, which is why Armada was so blown up last year. How you could see it, like he didn't want to walk off the stage. Chris Lee had to help him off and everything like that last year. But now Armada got it, and I don't think that there's any question anymore that Armada is probably the GOAT right now.
The GOAT.
I think that was a pretty big win for Armada.
Yeah. People
Yeah.
say that he didn't play Hungry Box, which is why he didn't play Fox. I didn't realize it was only for H-Box that he did not. That he played
really?
Fox.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Dude, you can't be a baby when you lose a match like that and don't want to leave the stage and don't want to get.
That's not being a baby.
Yeah, dude, I can't even explain
the feeling.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Do you know the feelings of being? No, but you got to think that that's one of those almost unique feelings.
Yeah, I think the closest thing is when Street Fighter 3 first came out, and I went to the Golfland tournament. It was like the first Street Fighter 3 tournament, and I got to grand finals versus Alex Phi, and he blew me up with one button. He just did Ryu stand roundhouse until I died.
No.
I could not fight it. It was, that one, that sucked.
Oh,
but
man.
That's still how many people know that? Nobody saw that. Nobody remembers that.
10 people were there.
People probably think I'm making that up right now, right? Having that happen to Armada in front of everybody with GOAT on the line,
right.
That's a whole different story, though.
That is a singular thing.
Yeah, look, I am not even joking. He just hit heavy kick until I died. Literally, because you know what? This is what Vi does, and this is why he's a jerk and a great player. He'll hit this button, he's like, James doesn't know how to deal with this.
Yeah.
He figures out how to deal with it. Well, he never did. Okay, the end. And that was...
It was Ryu roundhouse?
Yeah.
Ryu
the one where he
roundhouse.
Swung the roundhouse. And see, back then, I didn't know how to whiff punish anything. Whiff punishing wasn't really a thing because, we're coming from games where whiff
He wasn't just mashing it, was he?
He practically was. I mean, he was just walk forward, roundhouse, walk back, roundhouse, walk forward, roundhouse, roundhouse. I just, I couldn't hit it when that was...
That is hilarious.
Stop making me relive this.
Bummer.
Anyway, continue.
Okay, you got it. Anyway, I watched, I think, everything except for when Hungrybox lost because I was walking to the room, and then I watched Grand Finals when I was falling asleep because it was super late.
Right.
It happened really late.
Oh, yeah, that one.
And I needed to wake up for, 7 in the morning to get to Marvel on time, so I needed to go to sleep.
Right.
Anyway, it was sick. It was a good tournament as always.
Yeah. good stuff to Melee. And yeah, I mean, I know that they're going to be sad that they weren't on Sunday, but
Yeah.
you know, they got to give a chance to every game, you know, especially because Smash Wii U always has more entrants. So, you know,
that's
why not?
true.
Why not? So.
You're right. Yeah, it was good to watch. Good to watch. Okay, Super
Now,
Smash Bros.
I went to sleep late because I went to bar fights after that. In fact, I didn't even mean to. In fact, nobody knows this, but like I walked into the little convenience store right next to the elevators, and I was like, I really just want to eat something cold because it's really hot right now. So I bought an ice cream bar.
Okay.
And then a whole bunch of people were like, James, come to bar fights. And I was like, I really want to go to sleep. They're like, just stop by for a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
So I went there to go make my rounds. I had a shirt with me. I had my East Coast Throwdown shirt that someone gave me. So I just wrapped my ice cream in that.
Okay.
And walked in there. And I was there for a good hour and a half
Wow.
or whatever, talking to people. I watched the whole 5v5 between Resident Evil Fights and NLPC going on
that's
there.
right.
And shout outs to, because look, when I first got there, Arturo was like, yo, Idom's blowing everybody. He's beating everybody so far. I was like, I'm not surprised. Like, I thought that East Coast would win. Dude, he had beaten one guy. And the match that we were watching was against Alex Myers, and Alex Myers beat Idom. So Idom was literally 1-1 in that tournament. And Arturo was telling me he was beat. He was like, he's on like a 3-game win streak or whatever. I was like, what? Are you lying to me like this? But I watched that whole thing.
Tisk.
Shout outs to SD Pinoy. Because that guy bodied everybody. And I think Kami, I love Kami to death. He's going to have nightmares about SD Pinoy for the rest of his life.
Yes.
I don't know if you got to watch any
I
of
saw
it.
only the GIF
Of him
of
teleporting?
him dashing through Super.
Yeah.
Now, as a professional Bison main myself, I've known about that since week 1.
Right.
Well, I mean, I did, but anyway, it was super sick.
Yeah.
Man, SD, but were we having this conversation? I feel like it was with you, where I said that I think he's one of the best players, and you were like, one of the best Bisons, right? And I was like, one of the best in the U.S.
Yep.
I think he's one of the best right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he did really well in the tournament, too, actually.
Yeah, he got like 16th or something, or somewhere up there. He was
Somewhere up
really
there.
close up there, but yeah, I was there hanging out for a little while, and I made my rounds, talked to a whole bunch of people.
Nice.
So I was actually glad I went to that. That was actually one of the times I got to see a bunch of people, including the guy who said some questionable things to me, who apologized to me later on in DMs. But I was like, okay, finally left after the 5v5 was done. Went upstairs. I had one of those ice cream bars, and sure enough, I opened it up and bit into it, and it's just like the whole thing just poured out, and I was like, well, so much for having something cold.